Alright, how's everybody doing? This is the Comic Samurai. I want to welcome you to my next video, and tonight we're going to be doing another Let's Rank challenge. This is where we look at a run on the series and assign every cover a letter grade from A to F, and then pick our favorite and award it that special S tier ranking. And tonight we're going to be looking at Garth Ennis's Preacher series from Vertigo Comics. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First up, we got this issue number 1, and this series debuted in 1995, and all of the covers were done by Glenn Fabry, and I love his take, his style. He's my premier go-to graphic cover artist. I love his work. This first one is no exception. You've got that introduction of Jessie Custer, the main character there, presiding over a church that's burning, if that isn't some symbology there. I love how the cover is symmetric. It's just a beautiful image, and Glenn Fabry came out swinging on this one. I'm giving it a very strong A. That's one of the most famous covers of the 90s. Next up, we got issue number 2 here, and they wanted to introduce some other characters. Now, the cast is a very colorful group of characters here, and here we're introduced to the Saint of Killers there, and he's holding a Jessie Custer wanted poster, and Glenn Fabry did a great job. Now, all the interiors that were done by Steve Dillon, and they never missed an issue. They had an incredible run, and the second one, they knew how to introduce a great series, and I'm giving this one another A. I love that image. Next up, we got issue number 3, and I'll just say it right now. This is one of my favorite images, favorite covers of a comic book of all time. I love this image of Cassidy. He's one of the main crew on the Preacher series, and he's a vampire. And here you get to see him wearing glasses, and he's got some blood on his face there. Nobody can do expressions on a face like Glenn Fabry. This one, it's gruesome, it's horrific. The detail in it, I love this cover, and I'm giving it the highest possible A. Next up, we got issue number 4 here, and this was another great one. It kind of told a story. Look at the expression on their faces. You can tell that Jessie Custer is PO'd. I mean, he is righteously upset with this angel here who's definitely on the defense. The body language on this one, the feathers on the wings, everything, the highlights in Jessie's hair. I love this cover, and I'm giving this one another very strong A. Next up, we got issue number 5, and this cover is so horrific. When I saw it on the stands, I was really surprised it got past the censor. It's like this head of a victim who's been like skinned being held, and look at the details in the knuckles, the hair, the sagging face, the cavities there. This is one of the most gruesome, haunting covers I've ever seen, and I've got to give it an A. It just mesmerizes me. I couldn't take my eyes off it when I saw it for the first time. Next up, we got issue number 6, and I like this cover again. You've got Cassidy, Jessie Custer, looming over some fallen thug on a pool table there. I just love the atmosphere. You get a feeling that these two don't take any crap, and you get to know Jessie's powers now, and he's got this entity in him that's the offspring of a devil and an angel, and he's got the word, I think is what they call it, but whatever he says, if you hear him and understand him, you have to do it. And I love that they use their powers for barroom brawls. It's a great cover, and I'm giving this one another A. Next up, we got issue number 7, and this is another one. I didn't know what to think of this series when it came out. It debuted in 95, and I wasn't really into it at the beginning. I just thought, oh, it's another series. I'll wait to see if it's any good. And the buzz on this was incredible. I jumped on the bandwagon and started buying the series at about this issue here. It was one of the first ones I bought in a comic shop, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to sell it to me or not. It just seems so adult, so graphic. I love this cover. It mesmerized me as a kid, and I'm giving it another very high A. All right, next up, we got issue number 8 here, and they introduced Tulip here on the cover. She makes her first appearance there. Jessie's girlfriend there. But I didn't like this longhorn steer on the top there. It was supposed to be a symbol, and you've got this brooding like mansion in the background where Jessie Custer grew up with an abusive family, very abusive. But this issue, I love the colors on it, but it didn't speak to me like the other ones did, and I'm only going to give this one a B. Next up, we got issue number 9 here, and this is kind of a black and white image of Jessie Custer's family there, and they are, it's like Deliverance, you know? Everybody talks about that movie. There's something about it, like these backwoods, inbred, just terrible people that it's a horror story cliche, and people love it. I liked it, but the black and white on this one, if they should have done sepia tone, if anything. It didn't really work. It's a beautiful image, though, but I just wish it wasn't gray and white. And I'll give that one a B. All right, next up, we got issue number 10 here, and we've got young, juvenile Jessie Custer posing with a fight there, and he's bruised and beaten, and everybody knows I don't like my heroes like that, although you have to learn what makes him become the man that he is, and they're telling his backstory, establishing his character. I like this one, and I'm going to give this one a B. Next up, we got issue number 11, and I didn't like this one at all. Jessie Custer has kind of this Jiminy Cricket-like conscious fellow in his life, and it's the Duke, or it's supposed to be John Wayne, or whatever. I didn't like that. I don't like John Wayne. I love the underwater imagery here, but I couldn't figure out why a casket underwater with John Wayne sitting on top of it. It didn't make much sense to me, but I'm not a John Wayne fan, and I'm giving this one a C. Next up, we got issue number 12, and here you've got this like demon-like female figure, the grandmother or whatever, flying out with all these flames behind her. It was gross, it was sickening, it was horrific. This kind of screamed Halloween to me. I like this one, it's fun, and I'm giving it a B. Alright, next up is issue number 13, and this introduced a new group of villains led by Herr Starr, or just Starr. He's got this scar on his face in the shape of a star and these underlings here, and he was one of the most cleverly written villains. You love to see him fail. It was like Wile E. Coyote chasing after the Roadrunner. Jessie Custer's the Roadrunner, and this is Wile E. Coyote getting smashed in the face with an anvil at every turn. Nothing goes right for Starr. I loved it. Beautiful cover here. What a way to introduce a set of villains, and I'm giving this one an A. All right, next up we got issue number 14, and I love this cover. It tells a story. Glenn Fabry is one of the masters at that. You've got these two private dicks or detectives or whatever looking for somebody, and under the bed is Cassidy, and you can see the expression on his face. He does not want to be found. So who are these two that are powerful enough to keep Cassidy under the bed? That vampire, he's a very powerful character. In any event, I love the story that this one tells. It is symmetric again. The moonlight, everything works on this one, and I'm giving it another very strong A. I love this series. Next up, we got issue number 15, and this one, while it did grab my attention, I did not like it. I don't like comics where I'm like embarrassed to buy it. Like I put this up on the counter there, and I was like, what does this say about me? I don't really care, but what an off-putting image there. I was like, I don't know if I want to read this. It didn't interest me. You know that I do not like characters with white hair. Something about that is so off-putting. And this one, yeah, it didn't work for me. It didn't appeal. I was like, this is a little too risque for me, and I just want my comics to be entertaining. But I didn't like this. I thought it crossed a boundary for me. When it becomes that grotesque stuff, I didn't care much for it, and I'm giving this one a D. My personal opinion. Next up, we got issue number 16, and I love this cover. It's one of my favorites of Tulip. That dress, skin tight, and on this one, the woman in the red dress cliche is flipped on its head. Instead of having a damsel in distress, she's the one who's putting the reader in distress. You're staring down the barrel of a gun that she's holding, and she seems confident with it. She knows what she's doing. She's right in the center. She has her feet set. I love this cover. It's one of the strongest female images I've seen in comic books. Absolutely love this one, and I'm giving it a very strong A. Next up, we got issue number 17, and this one kind of sums up Cassidy here. You've got him looking cool, backlit by the stained glass window there, and all the images that tell a story in the background. I love this one. It's also symmetric, and when Glenn Fabry chooses to do that, it really seems to work. I love the painting technique that he uses, the lighting, the colors, everything worked on this one, and, well, the nameless people in the background there, it doesn't quite raise up to the level of the A's, giving it a B. I do like it. Next up, we got issue number 18, and I am torn on this cover. I get it. It's supposed to be a symbol of masculinity. That lighter had a message on the front of it that was very popular at a certain time with a certain generation, but it doesn't reflect well now. I don't like the message that they had. It paid a lot of respect, this story did, to veterans, and I love that part of it, but the execution of this lighter, the symbol of it, did not work on me. My dad's a Vietnam vet, and I asked him what he thought of it, and he was torn too. So let me know what you guys thought of this comic book and the symbol of that lighter. It is a beautiful image. I love the image of a hand. I mean, it is so detailed, and the reflection in that lighter, it's a beautiful image, but I can only give it a B. And it's a shame because, like I said, it's one of my favorite comic book covers. Next up, we got issue number 19, and I love the image of Jessie and Tulip back to back. Like, they're unbeatable when they're on the same page. You've got these villains in the background there kind of surrounding them. It's a great standoff image. I love this one, and I'm giving it a very strong B. Next up, we got issue number 20, and this one features Cassidy blown to bits, laying on the floor. You get to see just what kind of punishment Cassidy is capable of taking. But look at how they could have just done like a wooden floor or a concrete gray floor, but all the detail and the title work there. I love the time and the effort that Glenn Fabry puts into these covers at the beginning. I think that a trend might develop later on, but right now, every single detail, he's firing on all cylinders, and while this is an image of a fallen hero, I can only give it a B. It is still a very well done cover. Next up, we got issue number 21, and this is one of my least favorite of the series. I don't like the image that are hard to look at, or somebody you feel sorry for. And this is supposed to be like a sloth type person with the food down the front of him, but it's off-putting, it's disgusting. It doesn't have anything to do with like a comic book adventure buddy cop story that this was more of. I loved the core characters, but when they went off onto this tangent, I didn't like this cover at all. I'm giving it a D. Next up, we got issue number 22, and I like this one, how they've got Starr and Custer face to face in the reflections of knives, and the style of the knives are different. It's a reflection on those two's character and a literal reflection of their images on the metal, the chrome of the knives. They're sticking it into a wood table. I just love this one. I'm giving this one an A. I do like that. It's a creative way to put a battle on the cover, like Wolverine and Hulk on Hulk 340. Next up, we got issue number 23. And this is one of the most underrated covers. I've talked about it before. But this is the demon and the angel that fornicated to make that being that inhabits Jessie Custer that gives him his powers. This is the moment of conception. I mean, it's graphic. They have a bunch of flames covering the area, but this, I mean, it's a risque cover. I can't believe nobody's ever talked about this one before, about what you are actually looking at. The creation of a being by a demon and an angel. Absolutely love this one. Beautifully done, and I'm giving it the highest possible A. Next up, we got issue number 24, and this is Starr here on the cover, and just him kind of maniacally laughing at the audience there. You know, he's about to get a lot more damage. He just gets cut to pieces as the story goes along. I love seeing him fall bit by bit. He has a little battle won, and then he loses a war. Battle, war. It just is one step forward, two steps back for this Starr. I like this one, and I'm giving it a B. Next up, we got issue number 25, and here you have this demonic female character crawling out of the ground. And it's getting close to Halloween, so I gravitate towards these type of images, but it didn't tell me much about what was going to happen in it. This is a preacher story. What does this character have to do with it? It did raise a lot of questions. I love this series, and it kept me going buying the series, so I'm going to give this one a B. Next up, we got issue number 26, and this is a beautiful image of Cassidy here, like jumping out of a building. He couldn't fly, so he's falling, but the reflection on the building, the moon in the sky there, the purple sky, the background. I love this cover. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking. I had to open this one and say, how is Cassidy going to survive that? He was a compelling character, and I love that story. Next up, we got issue number 27, and I'll give you one guess on what I think of this one. That pink background. You've got these two girls having a girls' day out. And it's like, while I needed a change of pace maybe in the story, this is not what I gravitate towards. It was well written, but it was so hard for me to get past this cover. I didn't care much for it. I'm glad I gave it a chance, but I can't do that cover anything better than a D. Next up, you've got issue number 28, and it's an image of Cassidy choking out this punk in a bar there or wherever, and Custer's in the background there. I love this cover. It's comedic, and when humor does go across well, it goes a long ways with me, and the expression on that kid's face, this one worked pretty good, and I'm giving it a B. Next up, we got issue number 29, and this one features a new character. And I won't tell you, spoil it, who it is under this mask, but you get to know eventually. And it's a beautiful cover. Look at the greens in the background there. The moment of explosions there on the cover. I love the motorcycle, the helmet. This is a great pose. And when he took off his mask, what a reveal. It is not who you thought it was. This is a beautiful cover. I love this one, and I'm giving it an A. I do like that one. Next up, we got issue number 30. And here's the front cover introduction of Arseface. And that's who was under the helmet in the last one. But anyway, he's flanked by Jessie Custer and Cassidy there. He's getting to be a core member of the group there. I didn't really get it as a kid, though. The colors on it didn't work that great for me either. I wasn't a huge fan of that character, and I can only give this one a C. Next up, we got issue number 31, and this one was a little dark for me. When I saw it on the stands, I was like, I couldn't hardly even make it out. You didn't know who this person in the foreground was or who these characters in the background were. You've got this one kind of attractive woman in like a bikini top and some guy holding a machete, but it didn't tell a story. I didn't recognize any of the characters. Best I can do on this one is a C. Next up, we got issue number 32, and I didn't care much for this one either. It's Jessie Custer in kind of a trance, and he's getting coiled around by a snake, like a python or something there, and he's laying against a cross. It's too much religious iconography for me. When you start bringing in crosses and serpents and all the symbols of that, especially Catholicism, with him already being a preacher, it was hard for me to swallow that. I couldn't do anything better than a D on that one. Next up, we got issue number 33, and this is a beautiful picture of Tulip on the cover there, kind of rising out of a tomb or something there. I like the foggy, like, mist in the background and this green, foreboding mist in the foreground. This is a beautiful cemetery image. I love the gun in her hand. She's bursting forth there. A lot of energy. Beautiful image, and I'm giving this one a very strong B. Next up, we got issue number 34, and here we've got Tulip and Custer on the cover, and you can tell that they're looking off in different directions. There might be a separation of these two. And you've got these eyes hovering over them that kind of look like they're being watched. This one tells an interesting story. However, I wish Custer was just a little more in the forefront, though. It's a beautiful image of Tulip, and I'm giving this one a B. Next up, we got issue number 35, and here comes the Saint of Killers. Oh, look at him walking through the desert there. He wasn't my favorite character in the run, and when they started telling his backstory and things, it lost me a little bit. I liked when Custer was the main focus, and Cassidy, Tulip, and he did weave into the story very well, and I do like this image. I'm going to give it another very strong B. Next up, we got issue number 36, and this one is getting an A from me. I absolutely love this. Look at the body language of Tulip and Custer there. I love how they drew him. He finally looks like he's just a badass. I like his hair. I like Tulip's expression there. She's holding the gun right at the viewer there. The beautiful blue in the background there. And look at how their heads kind of make the shape of a heart there. This is a beautiful cover. I'm going to give this one a very high A. I love that cover. Next up, we got issue number 37, and this features Cassidy burning in the sun. And isn't that fitting? I mean, it's the final wrap-up of War in the Sun, that storyline. And he's burning there, the vampire, exposed to daylight. That's what happens. I love how Glenn Fabry paints flames there. It really is how something looked of like flesh when it would burn. I mean, when they do Ghost Rider, it's just sometimes like this bone. This is how it would really be done. I love it, and I'm giving it a very strong B. Next up, we got issue number 38, and this one didn't work for me. It's a little dark. Like, when it was on the rack, you're like, what is going on there? It's a concert, and you've got these people in the foreground and Arseface singing, and it didn't work for me. By this time, that character's joke was a little overdone. He was overstaying his welcome. He kind of felt like a third wheel in the storyline. It was okay. It drug me on, but man, I can't do anything better than a D on that one. Next up, we got issue number 39, and this is another one where that slapstick kind of comedy was a little overdone there. You got these two, like, inbred rednecks there, and this one that really is a character. You've got the fluorescent green there. It just didn't work for me there. I do not like these two characters. There's nothing worse for me than a redneck, and when they're on the cover there, it didn't work. I don't like this one, and it's the first one I'm going to give an F to. It was hard for me to pick that comic up and want to be interested in those characters at all. Next up, we got issue number 40, and this is a very symbolic cover, and I thought this was the turning point for Glenn Fabry on these covers. They started to go downhill a little bit. There's still some great gems in here, but this one of Arseface, where it's like he's taking over the world, and he kind of became this pop culture phenomenon. I didn't like it. It's a beautiful image. I mean, try to paint that symbol yourself. How would you do it? But it didn't work, and man, I hated looking at this one. I'm giving it an F. Next up, we got issue number 41, and you can see, again, I just thought he started to get a little bit lazy. I don't know if he was crunched for time or what, but this sign that just said Salvation and the population and Jessie Custer, and they introduced this dog in the background. They should have featured the dog more. I know that this town is going to be a major character in the story, but it didn't work for me. Man, this was hard for me to pick up. I do like the colors in it, and that saves it from getting an F, but not my favorite. I thought it was a D. All right, next up we got issue number 42, and this is where I think a lot of the readers started dropping off. I loved the story. It was extreme to the maximum with this character here. But this one, that image of him in a meat locker, that was one of his like quirks, and it was like supposed to be really shocking, but I mean, we were getting into the age of the internet where this wasn't that shocking. Just that gross image of an old guy in a meat locker didn't work. Oh man, I didn't like that one, and I'm giving it an F. Next up, we got issue number 43, and again, look at how muted the colors were on here, and you've got the back of a character. Don't do that. If you're going to feature a character, you've got to show their face, and if you don't show their face, have some compelling, immediately recognizable body language going on. This one doesn't have that. You've got this foreboding house, kind of revisiting Custer's youth, but it didn't work. Man, I didn't care much for this cover, especially those crosses. Don't bring in that religious iconography. I'm giving this one a D-, and it's lucky it doesn't get an F. Next up, we got issue number 44, and again, they were kind of moving away from the main characters. Who is this now kind of SS-looking officer here? A female in this German uniform. It didn't work for me. While the colors are amazing, I don't like that imagery. It didn't compel me to open it, and man, I can only give this one a D. It is a bondage cover, so that raises it from an F, but not my style of cover. Next up, we got issue number 45, and again, they started telling this story about Jessie being the sheriff of this Salvation town, and what a symbol that is. He kind of is in a town called Salvation. It just didn't work. He's looking over the town there. He's cleaned up his life. He's dealing with losing Tulip or whatever, the dog there. But it was a little too, come on, let's get on with the story. This was really a time of the story where it was idling, and I can only give this one a C. Next up is issue number 46, and I'm just going to say this one's getting an F. These characters, everybody knows what they stand for, doesn't interest me. I dislike it. I know that Jessie Custer gets the best of them, but don't put them on the cover. Don't celebrate them. Let's get rid of this imagery in our comic books. Save it for the inside when they get dealt with, but this one's an F. I hate that imagery, and I just don't like it. Next up, we got issue number 47, and this is where I thought he really started phoning in some of these covers. It's just Jessie Custer reacting to an explosion where somebody's getting their just desserts, but the stance, the body language on it doesn't fit him getting his victory or whatever. It's the back of his head. Don't do that, man. I didn't like this one, and I'm giving it an F. I'm sorry. Next up, we got issue number 48, and this was one of my least favorite of the runs also. That image of the leader of kind of this town, the evildoers in there, holding this sausage, that symbolism, it was overdone. This is when I said, okay, I get the negative comments that Garth Ennis can get sometimes. It was getting juvenile. It was getting a little long in the tooth. Let's move the story along. Man, I hated this cover, and I'm giving it an F. All right, here we go. We got issue number 49 next. And now we get Cassidy kind of coming back into the story, this reflection there. It didn't really work. Like, here's Jessie Custer reaching his hand out, but there's his head there. What's going on? It was like, that didn't really work. It's coming back, though. We're starting to get some good covers, and I'm giving this one a C. Next up, we got issue number 50, and this one, what a melancholy cover. You've got Jessie Custer visiting the Vietnam Memorial Wall, and it just didn't work. Oh, man, what a downer. You wanted this story to pick back up. It was getting so bogged down in just the separation from Tulip. Now he's got an eye patch, and oh, I didn't like this one. For a 50th issue, I wanted anything else, and I'm giving that one a D. Next up, we got issue number 51, and you'll see that this one I really thought was phoned in. You've got this Tulip and a gun there. And that's supposed to symbolize the reunion. It's going to be coming. It's close. Whatever. Just the white, simple background and the shadows on it. It was, I mean, it's a competent cover. But man, tell a story with it. A little better than that. I'm giving it a D. Next up, we got issue number 52. And something happened here. Glenn Fabry's work had a different look here. Look at how he drew Tulip. And I don't know if it was supposed to be like this evolution over time, that his art style is kind of evolving with the characters. Now, she's been mistreated now. And this reunion between her and Custer is not a pretty one. It's dirty. And maybe that's what they were trying to tell. But I do not like Glenn Fabry's art style when it gets like this. And I'm giving this one a D. Next up, we got issue number 53. And this was probably my least favorite of the run. It's this American flag that's been stained, and it's a symbol, but man, do I not want to read a comic book about stomping on the flag and how it's been mistreated, whatever. I don't care what the story is. This is an image that I do not like, and I'm giving it a very strong F. Next up, we got issue number 54, and here, they tried to tie in that reunion of Jessie Custer and Tulip, and that's awesome. And you've got these little cherubs that are supposed to be Arseface floating around, and they're in a blue heart, and that's great. The colors are okay. Okay, now let's get back. We're starting to get some traction. I am going to give this one a B. It's definitely better than what we've been seeing. Next up, we got issue number 55, and here they're introducing another villain. And a complaint that I had with Garth Ennis' writing on this series was that all the villains were very similar. This reminds me of Starr, who reminds me of that guy with the sausages, and we've got this Rottweiler here. It just wasn't very compelling. This wasn't the stage to be showing a new villain. I want to see more about the reunion of Jessie Custer and Tulip. Don't do this one. It slowed the pace down, and I'm giving it a C. Next up, we got issue number 56, and this one, they did a group shot here, but when they do it realistically like this, it just kind of mushes into a brown. I mean, it's kind of fun to look and see all the individual characters, but it's not part of the story. It's just a group shot. They were all posed there. It's like kind of a recap. Like, here, you can jump on and we'll tell you what's going on with all of these characters. But there's too many to keep track of. It's a great image, but the only thing I can do with it is a C. I mean, let's get on with the story. Next up, we got issue number 57, and this one features Cassidy in the nude, and he's got his sunglasses on in a weird body pose, and he's like smearing something across the title. I hated that image. Like, I don't think it was what it looked like, but man, this is not a compelling image. I did not want to read this story. It was hard for me to open it, and I'm giving that one an F. Don't do that with your characters. It's just hard to look at. Next up is issue number 58, and I did not care for this one at all. You've got a close-up image of Arseface there, band written across his forehead. It was hard to look at. It didn't compel me to read this one at all, and I'm giving this one an F. Next up is issue number 59, and Glenn Fabry started this series where he did just the central figure of a face of the characters, but I think it's way too zoomed in. Without the eye patch there, I'm not 100% sure I would have known that was Jessie Custer. I wanted them to move the story along a little more than this. It is a great image of Jessie, though, and I'm giving this one a very strong B. Next up, we got issue number 60, and this is a close-up of the Saint of Killers. And, man, it was hard for me to look at this. It looked like George C. Scott, kind of mixed with a cowboy character, but, man, I wasn't too into the Saint of Killers there. And a close-up of him, this wasn't that compelling of a cover, and I'm giving this one a C. Next up, we got issue number 61, and here we've got a close-up of Starr. And, man, I mean, it was kind of interesting to see his glazed-over eye and the scar on his face there. But all these images on the bottom just kind of get lost. They're overshadowed by these way too close figures there. I can't do anything better than a C on that one, and it's lucky to get a C. Next up, we got issue number 62, and all I can say about this one is they shouldn't have done it. I didn't like this one. I did not want to buy it. I wasn't interested. Way too close on that character. Doesn't tell a story. I'm giving this one an F. Oh, I do not like that cover. Next up, we got issue number 63, and I couldn't wait for them to feature Tulip on the cover, but when I saw this image, I was like, ugh, boy, that is not the Tulip that I remember. And maybe that it wasn't supposed to be. Like, she has went through a horrific ordeal at this point, and she's trying to regain some of her humanity here, and this cover really does reflect that, but man, it's way too close again. Things get lost, and I can only give that one a C. Next up, we got issue number 54, and things were falling apart with that group at this point. Cassidy had done such a dark thing to Tulip, and it's reflected here, his black sunglasses. This is the first time we haven't seen him like enjoying the story, and I wasn't either. I was like, let's get over this. Let's get on with it. While it is a great image, I can't do anything better than a B on that one. Next up, we got issue number 65, and here we finally get to see the entity close up that's been inhabiting Jessie Custer. But the image of a baby crying on the cover that takes up 95% of the cover, don't do that. This is an awful cover. I was like, don't go out on a whimper. I don't want that. And this image was so awful for the cover of a Preacher comic book. Don't do that. Don't introduce babies. This is kind of an adult, rated R story. And this, it just hints at something bad happening. Didn't like that one at all, and I'm giving it an F. All right, next up we got issue number 66, the final issue of the regular series. And while it is a beautiful image of the sky there with angels flying and a gun and a hand ready to draw the gun, it doesn't show Jessie Custer. Remember the very first issue? You've got Jessie Custer, the center of the whole story. And here, you've got these nameless angels and the Saint of Killers ready to draw his gun. What does that have to do with Jessie Custer? Oh, they really dropped the ball on this last one. I hate when they do that. When I saw this, the final issue of Preacher, I said, this is the image that they chose to wrap up the series with? This right here? Oh, man, I was so disappointed in this one. I'm giving it an F. That is how you do not finish a series. All right, I'm going to go ahead and include all the other Preacher covers that I've got for the miniseries because they were done by Glenn Fabry, with the exception of this Preacher that was a free comic that was the story of the AMC series that they made. And I love the different take of the members of the group there. You got Tulip, you got Cassidy, and you got Jessie Custer. And they're just a little bit different. And the fact that they were drawn by Dillon, he's the cover artist. Usually the interior artist did the cover. It's the only one that I have that he did the cover of, but I'm not going to let it participate in the competition because the other ones were Glenn Fabry covers, like this one. Preacher, Cassidy, Blood, and Whiskey. And here you've got a close-up image of Cassidy, and this is how it's done. I like this, where he's jovial, smiling, before he betrayed the others. He's got his hair going crazy there, those trademark sunglasses, and his smile. This is the type of story that I want to be told when it's dealing with Cassidy, and I'm giving that one an A. Next up, we got Preacher, One Man's War, and this one kind of told the backstory of Herr Starr, and it was compelling and interesting, but this image of this soldier with a gas mask on there, carrying a child, and Starr looking on with that red glow, it was creepy. I did like it, but I don't really like stories that focus on the villain, so I'm giving that one a B. Next up, we got Saint of Killers, #1, and this told the story of the Saint of Killers and his background, what happened to his family, and all the covers were painted by Glenn Fabry, but it was kind of a Western, and I did like it. I loved the story, but this first cover, it was a turnoff. You had these riders on the bottom there, and this central figure standing there. It was just a little too much of a cliche. It's kind of like an image of Clint Eastwood from The Outlaw Josie Wales, but didn't really work for me, and I can only give that one a C. Next up, we got issue #2, and whenever you have a gunslinger with a sword, it's always a little off-putting, but it does remind you that the Civil War, they were still using swords some of the times, and he does have that classic look of somebody who fought in the Civil War there. The lighting's good. This is an okay image, and I'm giving it a B. Next up, we got Saint of Killers #3, and this is an image of like this demon or Satan or something, and the bull. I was like, what does that have to do with a Western story? But it does tell you how that guy became the Saint of Killers. Was interesting. I like that image, and I'm giving that one a B. All right, next up is Saint of Killers #4, the final issue of this limited series here. And we've got the Saint there with his 2 big revolvers pointing at the camera. I do like this one. It reminds me of The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Roland Deschain, The Dark Tower. Anyway, it's a beautiful image. I like this one. It's the first one of that series that I'm going to award an A. I like that. Next up, we got Preacher, Tall in the Saddle. And again, Garth Ennis returned to write this one. And it was an okay story, standalone thing, but just that image of that skull, this was a very hard one for me to give a chance to. Didn't care for it much with this cover. Great story inside, but not my favorite cover, and I can only give that one a C. Next up, we've got a Preacher special, The Good Old Boys, and this one features those 2 on the cover there, those 2 tormentors of Jessie Custer, and it kind of tells their backstory. And I'd never liked them. I don't like the redneck character, that ignorant, and struggling against them. It just hits a little too close to home. Don't care much for this one, and I can only give this one a D. There's a little bit of humor on there, and that saves it from getting an F. But Next up, we got Preacher Special, The Story of You Know Who. And this one, again, another close-up on his face. And I don't know why they choose to do that. It's hard to look at, and it's not a compelling thing. I don't want to, they explained a bit of his backstory in the main story. I didn't think they needed this one. That's a terrible image, and I'm giving that one an F. All right, well, now that we have them all ranked, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the ones in the A tier and pick our favorite. All right, well, of all those Preacher comics, 17 of them were awarded an A ranking. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. We got issue number 1, which is iconic. Issue 2 with that wanted poster. Issue 3 with Cassidy. Issue 4 with the confrontation there. Issue 5 with that decapitated head. Issue 6 with that pool table. Issue 7, oh, that twisted one. 13 with Starr. 14 with Cassidy under the bed there. The humor goes a long ways with me. Number 16 with Tulip pointing the gun at the viewer there. Oh, I love that one. 22 with the reflection. 23 with the angel and the demon. Oh, issue 26 with Cassidy falling out of the building. I love that one. 29 with Arseface in the leather get-up on the motorcycle. 36 with Custer and Tulip there. Oh, and then we got Preacher, Cassidy, Blood and Whiskey. I love that image of Cassidy. And Saint of Killers number 4. All right. It's got to be between this one, and these 4 here if I had to narrow it down. Okay, it's not going to be this one of Cassidy. I like either the Starr of it or a better group shot. This one with the angel and the demon. It's so underrated, but I'm not going to give it my favorite one. Oh, I do like those two. Probably not the lone picture of Tulip, so it's either this one of Cassidy smiling with the blood, Tulip and Preacher there, or that number 1 with him. Oh, it's between these 3 here. Oh, which one am I going to choose? Okay. What is my favorite image? You know what? This number 1 made Custer look like the villain. And while he is an anti-hero, he's not the villain of the story, so I'm not going to give it to number 1. Number 36 or number 3, what a surprise for me. I really thought it would go to this number 3. I love that cover there. But this issue number 36 is my favorite of the run. At its core, it's the story of Jessie Custer and Tulip and their love story. While there are other colorful characters, and it's filled with some of the best characterization I have ever read in a comic book series, at the core it's a love story, and this one sums it up. They're pointing a gun at the viewer as if to say, you need to read this. They're demanding your attention. They want their story to be told, and if Glenn Fabry didn't base this version of Jessie Custer on Johnny Depp, I'll be surprised. But this is just a beautiful cover. One of my favorites of all time, and I'm happy to award it my S tier ranking. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. Let me know if there's any other runs, titles, artists, or series you want me to rank. Thanks again, and have a great night.